All right, guys, very special guest, one that you might know, two-time Busch Series champion, and my old man. Everybody's asking all the time, hey, what's your dad doing? How's your dad doing? Well, here you are. I'm just going to get you on the podcast so you can tell everybody yourself. Randy LaJoie, join Stacking Pennies.
I'm a three-time champion. You forget about the North one.
NASCAR North.
NASCAR North champion was it 84?
85. Yep. What have we been doing? Well, being a granddad is pretty darn cool. That's pretty fun. Still saving lives. And, we've been busy, very busy. I mean, since COVID, it has almost doubled our business. And I don't know why. And it's so darn difficult to get stuff. And the way you used to do business 5 years ago, totally changed. So you go with the flow. And then, we got a great group at the Joy Seating. And, when we build this many seats years ago, we had double the help. So now we're building the same amount of seats with the proper help. So the process has gotten a lot better.
How long? What was your last race?
06.
In what?
Well, that was the year I did the 21 car for Harvick. I filled in for Harvick that nine races.
So you would practice and qualify his car while he was off Cup race, and then you come in race day.
He'll come in. 9 races. He won 6 out of them. 6.
How many poles did you
second? No, I never got a pole.
Darn it.
Yeah, a couple times he qualified. I practiced it. I think I qualified third a couple times. But that was an amazing team. I mean, I couldn't believe that's what got my wheels spinning about technology and stuff, because they knew how much shock job we were going to have. We're going to Kentucky. Rough-ass racetrack. I was like, you guys have no clue what they did. It cost me dinner. I had to buy, there's a bunch of crew chiefs all around. It was Shane
Wilson was crew chief on that thing.
No, there was
Scott Brewer too. He's my car chief. He was on that car.
Okay.
Oh, really?
He was underneath guy, I think.
Stankiewicz.
Yeah, Jeff Stankiewicz.
Yep. There was 4 or 5 guys that are crew chiefs today that were all on that team.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to see how they worked together. It was fun to see, because I said, okay, Kevin's not going to like this. It's way too tight. Okay. Well, we're going to change the truck arm. We're going to do this. I said, oh, Jesus, okay. Okay, we're ready. Go ahead. Go back out.
Did they have simulation at that point?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they must have.
Yeah.
Because they knew. I mean, I'd never seen it before.
Well, they knew tire loads probably through some tire tests and stuff. But, yeah. Do you miss it?
Nah. Yes and no. Yeah, I don't miss how hard it takes to do it correctly, because that's a lot of darn work. And if you're not with – I mean, it was the runs we had with the championships. I mean, once you're doing it, you're winning 5 races a year. You think you're going to win 5 races a year forever. Because you're like, man, we're just getting started. Well, and then there's a little chink in the armor, and the left hand don't know what the right hand's doing. And then all of a sudden, instead of skipping happy hour, you're chasing your tail at happy hour. And it's a championship team is cool to be part of. and when you're not part of that, it's aggravating as all get out. And that 06, when I drove Harvick's RCR car, it was an incredible team. And the second, I ran 8 races with Barry Hill out of Oklahoma. And, he had bought an old Michael Waltrip car. Michael Waltrip didn't run no good in it, but he thinks he's going to go there and beat these guys. So, needless to say, I had to use a Champions Provisional to get in every one of those races.
Oof.
And a week earlier, I'm on the top of the board.
Yeah.
And I went to see Richard at the end of the year. He won the championship. He said, come on up and see me. He thanked me for doing it. He said, the guys loved you. I said, Richard, can I have 10 races in the 21 car next year?
Yeah.
He said, why? I said, because I could win half of them. So it'd be like at that time, RCR was like today's Gibbs cars on the Xfinity side. Jesus, you don't win an Xfinity race.
What was the saying? Were they talking about Gibbs when somebody said, was it Boyer that said even a monkey can win in those things or something like that?
And Gibbs' car? Well, that was Birdie. Yeah, Birdie said that about his own cars, because Birdie won a championship with Grissom. He missed it with
Birdie was a diamond.
31. Grissom had their own cars.
Oh.
Channel Locks and
Birdie had the hot.
Oh, you did. Oh, he had the stuff. The only one who didn't win the championship was Kenny Wallace. He couldn't get it done.
So yeah, it's hard to be on any other. After you make a championship run, it's hard to do it any other way. It's like, no thanks. I think Lenny Boyd, old school race from Jersey, said, don't think that a bad effort is better than no effort at all. you're better off just not doing it, especially if you do it well. But one thing, talk about not doing, I get a lot of questions about why you never went cup racing. And I know a lot of the decision was so you could stay home with the boys and watch them. But I wanted to hear, I figured it'd be a good time for you to tell that story of why you never went full-time cup racing.
Well, when you're a big rig and you do your deal and you're winning races and a couple championships, you think you're never going to get knocked off. When I drove the Budweiser car, Craven got hurt. Drove that car 9 races. I mean, it was great, but it wasn't great.
Hang on. Pause that thought. One cool fact from my career best finish at Atlanta, didn't it tie your career best? You run 4th at Martinsville?
Martinsville, correct.
Oh.
Yep.
So I'm trying to beat your damn
So the
career
man
best
still
finish.
got you.
It's,
Or you're tied.
Tie, that's right. Well, I would have been 3rd, but Big E knocked me out of the way with 2 to go.
Oh, man.
He said the pay window's open. I needed it.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
We were just talking about that in the show last week of like how he run into somebody and made it feel like it was your fault.
Well, yeah, he didn't. He said, no, I didn't. I just knocked you out of the way.
Yeah.
Because I got to go. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
ain't wrong.
No, that's right.
So, but
Hit
what
play.
went into that? What
Continue
went
your
into that decision?
Okay, but so run that Budweiser car 9 times, and I had a great relationship with Budweiser, being the Anheuser-Busch champion and Busch champion. So I've known them. I had personal service contracts with them, so it was a lot of fun. Well, the Budweiser car, those 9 races, I did like 40 appearances. I mean, it was double what my responsibility was as a Busch champion, just being a regular guy. And I was like, wow. And it wasn't hard hanging out with Budweiser people. I mean, they're really cool people. But the following year, I had an offer to go cup racing. They said, hey, Budweiser, hey, we want you to come. I said, okay.
For Hendrick?
Yeah. And Budweiser says, hey, we want you to drive the car next year. I said, okay. I said, well, I'll think about it. And Mr. H, well, at the time, it was John Hendrick. And John says, they want you to drive the car again. What are you thinking? I said, well, I don't know. I'm going to have to really think about this, because at the time, I mean, they kids, they just started getting into racing, and it was a little bit different than when they were 6 and 9. I asked them if I wanted to go cup racing, and Corey's like, well, can we go to motorhome tour? We're going to go racing on Sundays at the shop. And I said, no. He said, well, I'll think about it. Well, Casey was 7. And I said, Casey, I said, what do you think? He says, why do you want to do it? I said, well, I can make a lot of money. He says, don't you make a lot of money now? I said, yeah. He goes, why do you need more? And he's 7. I said, you got to figure it out. So that was with Matei. So then with Budweiser, I said, okay, why do you need more? And I was really enjoying my life with the kids and the wife. And I figured if I went to that Budweiser car, I don't think I could have stayed married, because that was just a whole different lifestyle. And then the cup car was too, because even in those 9 races, I mean, I was a 2-time champion, and I'd go out to dinner with the wife and kids and not be bothered. And that was good. And then you race fans see you, hey, how you doing? Yeah, good. I did that Budweiser car. I don't want to be seen that well. I mean, I couldn't go nowhere. It was crazy. What a difference being a Sunday guy to a Saturday guy. And I just wasn't cut out to be that Sunday guy.
Do you care about the legacy you leave in NASCAR being a Saturday guy versus a Sunday guy?
No, not really. I mean, a champion's a champion. I was a champion of the division I was in. And you still got to act like a champion. You got to, represent your sponsors, if you have any. It's a totally different ball game that you guys are playing today. I mean, we had great sponsors. Fina, and I mean, it's cool. My phone is still filled up with guys we used to hang out at the racetrack with that were sponsors. And, we'll talk 2-3 times a year. So, that's the relationships you build through your championship years never go away.
So, with that being said, do you know why he came down here besides his bull?
I couldn't tell you.
Because NASCAR's putting out a list of the 75 greatest NASCAR drivers overall.
Oh.
And, Pop, you made the cut.
Hot
Top
damn.
75.
I got chills. It's not a bill, is it?
No. But you talk, there's a little diecast in there too. You talk about the relationships you've made in the sport, people asking about you, people caring about you. They care about you enough to, it's a broad list of guys, roots guys, some late model guys, modified guys, all of which are champions. and I'm proud of you for making that list.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's way cool. You don't wake up when you're 10 years old racing go-karts and think you're going to get something like this. But that's pretty damn badass. And
Well, it's probably something you don't think about when you're you get your Busch North team and you start chasing the dream either. You don't
correct.
think about,
We're racing. We're going racing. What's next on the agenda? But now, is that for all time? Is that just the Busch guys?
That's everybody.
all of NASCAR.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
every
so
series,
it's
not just Cup.
Yeah, it's not just Cup. It's everybody who hasn't left their impact on the sport over the 75 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So just like they did the 50th anniversary where Richie was on it and Dale, and you're on there with them.
Does that get me like a get out of jail free card? I go to these
Well, I think
some of these tracks.
One, I think you've burned up a couple of those freebies. Two, I think that Mike Helton's wishing he didn't give you his number about 20 years ago because you wear his ass out. But you've set a great example for myself and my two boys on how to be a champion, how to be a man. So it's pretty damn cool to be able to give you that box.
Well, that's way cool.
Give you that honor.
I'm so proud of the man you've become, Casey. It's just it's been cool to watch you guys grow up, and I'm here to continue to watch as long as I'm on this side of the dirt.
Well, hopefully you stay on this side there for a little while. I'll lighten the mood. I'll ask you the 3 questions all the guests that we ask.
Okay, good.
All right, so you stop crying because you're make me cry too.
Okay.
If you had to pick one race car and one racetrack to race at the rest of your life, what do you pick?
Dover, where the car that hooks the bottom.
But you got to pick a car.
Yeah, any car.
A
any
Busch car.
Busch car.
Yeah.
No.
What
What year Busch car?
96, 97, won both races there, and that was fun. The car hooked the bottom and gassed it up.
Was that bias-ply tires back then or radials?
No radials. There weren't stones. I didn't have to pedal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Corey, dude,
that was a
Dover,
Flintstone joke.
When we won, when he won the East race there, that was just. I think about that, and like I think about now being parents, like what the emotions you must have had, because like we don't really remember like when you went to Dover for the first time and the memories you had there, and then you make your own. It's got to be cool to see the second generation of that and all the
I
memories.
mean, like I said, we grew up watching my dad race, and his generation of racers, and you don't get to race, you don't see yourself racing. So somebody, you're as good as your dad. My dad was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, because I'd never seen, I said, hell, the last race he won, he beat me. So I said, he was pretty damn good.
Shout out Don LaJoie.
Yeah. And then Corey, what I've watched in Corey, he's better than both of us. So, okay. That's it. It's fun to watch. Life is interesting as hell.
Yeah, I'd say so. Question number 2. What's the most embarrassed you've been at a racetrack?
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
I don't get embarrassed a whole lot.
I know. That's why you're
Correct.
I know. That's why it takes a hell of a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I probably can't say this on TV, so I have to do another one here. Okay. I have to get that out of the brainwave.
You've been and it's any racetrack. Like if you're selling seats or if you're driving or
Just broad.
being a fan.
Do you remember, the most embarrassed I've been at a racetrack?
One can never tell.
Was it Kevin Harvick's go-kart track?
I shanked him.
Oh my God. So Harvick used to have these damn knockout, like he was like the original field filler fairgrounds,
Correct.
right? They'd have 30, 40, 50, like all the RCR employees had a go-kart, right? Brian Smith out there, all these guys. And it'd be a spectator thing. I mean, 100, probably more than that, 200-300 people show up. They had grandstands, the whole thing.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm probably in 9th or 10th grade, right? And I got
You're probably 14, 15.
Yeah.
That's
9th, 10th grade.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm playing baseball because we came right from baseball practice. So I had probably had 3XL baggy sweatpants on, like Northwest Cabarrus baseball on them, and like a sweatshirt. And I'm sure I was like sagging. I was probably pretty cool at the time. And we're sitting there, and my back's to the racetrack, and we are facing this grandstand, kind of like off to the side, but like I was in eyesight of I was between the freaking grandstand.
This is not a big
And the
track.
racetrack.
It was
Yeah.
and the racetrack.
But you're only talking 40 feet.
And I'm sitting there with my arms closed or arms crossed, and we're sitting there talking. I don't remember who. It's burned into my brain, but I don't remember the faces. Next thing I know, I'm looking around, I'm like, damn, it got pretty breezy. I look down, and my is hanging out. He pants me to my ankles in front of all these people.
And you didn't feel it because they were sweatpants that were that bad?
Yeah,
You didn't even feel it going on?
just
I wonder what took him so long. I shanked him and I walked away. He was still standing there. I was like, here's his white ass standing there. I was like, oh, boy.
at least 12 seconds.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was smooth.
Oh.
So that's the most embarrassed I've been at the racetrack. Also, another embarrassing story. I want to hear your side of the Michael Schumacher story at Hickory because I love telling that one.
I just seen those guys last week. Ralph Moody guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pay. I'm not a big pay-to-play guy. It's okay. So we're going to make a deal. Corey's going to run this guy's car. We're going to pay to do it. Okay, good. We go there, practice.
Super late model, Hickory. Pass
Super late
race?
Pass late model. Yep. He's teammates to Benny Rowe. Ben Rowe's a multi-time champion. Dad I raced against, both customers, great people. So we go there, practice, and had a great practice. Went out, bought the guys dinner.
Yeah. We were second, third. I didn't know what the hell I was
on the
doing.
board. Yeah, he's doing good. Okay. Come out,
I
first
was probably
practice.
15 probably.
Yeah. So, okay, I think we practice first.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put tires on and do a mock run.
Yeah. Cold as
So
hell.
I'm standing down there. Okay. He comes by where he was lifting.
Q run. Trying to get it.
He went by me and he ain't lifted yet.
Locked the
Straight
left front tire up into one. Boom.
Straight in.
Right front. Ripped the air cleaner off. Valve cover.
Okay. So I was like, oh boy. So
That's not your. That was not your reaction.
That was when I was. You weren't even out of the car yet. So the steam just started to. So now I was like, okay, there's a grand, there's another grand, there's another grand. Watching this car come in.
I'm crying.
So he's all upset. He gets out of the car. He goes into the trailer. So I was like, okay, how are we going to fix this thing? So I got a Sawzall. He's okay. I'll help this guy.
One of those where like the cars and they got the front of the car lifting, they're backing it up, and they stick the front of it on Jack's hands. And
It's up, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So okay, so I'm going to help these guys. These guys got to go home to Maine with a wrecked race car. All right, and then
He finds a cordless Sawzall.
yeah, and I'm going at it.
That's great. That's like going to the grocery store when you're hungry.
Yes.
Yeah, give him a Sawzall when he's mad.
Yeah,
junkyard.
exactly.
Give a junkyard guy a Sawzall when he's mad.
And then he comes out and he kind of doesn't want to help. And I mean,
I don't know what to do.
yeah. And then he's looking. I was like, all I know is that there was a Michael Schumacher in there.
No, a couple ace.
Michael
Every time
Schumacher.
he's got the scissor, cut off like fender pipes, whatever's in there. Extension cords that are like holding on to the hauler every time. Thinks he's Michael Schumacher. Ain't done.
Well, funny story.
That's probably my third most embarrassing.
Funny story. I
story at
believe
the
there's
racetrack.
a story of Don LaJoie when you went to Pocono with your modified for the first time. And he drew a map of the track and said, if you don't lift at this X, you're going to hit the fence
At this X. Yeah.
And you drove past the first X.
Yes.
And you hit the fence.
The second X.
So is it
Right where
like
he told me.
is this a family tradition, you think?
Well,
Or?
it must run in the family.
Thank you for backup.
I was chasing Richie Evans, though.
Hey, I hear you.
Yeah, but he was too far ahead. I was going to make it all up and going into 3.
That was God's way of paying you
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it happens. You did.
It's funny. Here's what I'll say, because I've grown, since I was a teenager, I moved down here. I've been at the shop, at your shop. And when we would get, and I think we've learned our lesson now, but like when we are, especially in your mid-20s and you go cup racing, you're like, he has no clue what he's talking about. Like, that was years ago. And every time we've ever, like, you've come back and chewed our ass and we'd be like, he ain't know what he's talking about. You're always right. Whether it's a year later, 5 years later, or 5 days later, it's like, Randy was right again. I think we've learned, and we're like, okay,
Well,
now it still applies.
The contents of which are generally factual. It's the way
The delivery's not great.
delivery.
Delivery's a little
Presentation.
brash.
I have trouble with presentation.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, I mean, I think we've learned our lessons over the years to like, okay, no, wait. He's won 2 Busch championships and a bunch of races for a reason.
And you work with enough people and you see what's going on. So, I mean, this is when you pay attention to your race car and you watch a race car, it was cool growing up. I mean, my dad was really good with getting his car to run. Well, then I got to working with Bob Johnson, and he would watch the car and tell you what the car was doing and kind of pull it out of you of where you needed help. So I think that's the big thing in the team. Same thing with Birdie and Billy Nazareth. I mean, we had Billy Nazareth with Bird, and
Richie
Billy,
Evans, longtime crew chief.
Crew chief, that's right. And he was such an asset to that team because his vision was so good.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, it looks like you need some help right here before the center. And I was like, yeah, I got a little dull spot in there. Okay, he's all right. We could work on that. So when you see guys like that, and that I think that's what's changed from 2012 when hell you're racing the same guys you did in 2012. That next class, you beat those guys in 2012. You won the championship. They docked you points. They docked 25 points, and you lost by 6.
Yeah.
And then we proved that we weren't cheating.
Yeah.
So you beat those guys. You beat all those kids. And it was fun to watch then, and it's not so much fun to watch now because I know if you guys just switch seats, them suckers are looking for you. So, it's just because of I'm not sure that you can't say quality of people or quantity. Probably more than likely it's quantity.
Yeah, a lot of it's quantity. I'd put my guys right now, my core group of guys, up against anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my guys are doing
But
a
your
lot
toolbox don't have the pages in it.
No doubt.
No
doubt. But that's not the quality of my guys. They're doing 3x of what bigger teams are asking of them, right? And I think that sitting here 15th in points is punching way above our weight class. So,
well, yeah, correct. I mean, you're how many races in? 6, 7?
6, 7.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier towards the end of the year when you start good.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yes, yeah. And it's hard to catch up mid-season on.
Oh, for sure.
You got to get on a run, otherwise you don't get 5 or 6 runs.
You're buried.
You're done.
Yeah, you're buried.
And it's so darn tough. I mean, there's a lot of. I know what Spire's up against, and they are.
Well, there's 32 freaking fully funded,
correct,
full-on deals.
Yeah, correct.
If it was easy, everybody would do it. Third question. And I've kind of tailored this, and I like the way this is worded the best. If you had to lose all of your racing memories yet keep one, which one do you keep?
Racing memory?
Yeah.
Championship standing on the roof. That was cool.
First one?
Second.
Second one.
Second. Yeah.
What made the second one more special?
That might have been the first one. Was it the first one? Because the second one, no, it was Miami. Because Rockingham was the first one.
Yep.
I crashed the backstretch wall doing donuts. So that could have been an embarrassment. The Miami one, the second one, did donuts right in the start-finish line. When I climbed out, got on the roof, there was smoke all around. I was like, where the hell am I? And when I looked up, the starter was right there, old Carl. I was like, hey, buddy, how you doing? And,
wow.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, I guess you never want to forget a win, but that one there, that was cool. I still got people come up to me, say, man, I was in Miami. I still got chills when you did those donuts. That was cool.
Did you win the race?
No, we're in second or third.
Yeah.
Kevin LePage won the race. We had to kick him out of victory lane so we get all our
the big trophy.
That's right.
Gotta go.
Big guy coming in. Well, Pops, you're on a pretty important list, my friend. I'm proud of you.
That's serious.
One of NASCAR's 75 best drivers.
I'm going to carry that with me next time I go to a racetrack. And they say, where you going? It don't matter. Right
well, that and a cup of coffee. That and $1 gets you a cup of coffee at McDonald's too. But it's a lot of hard work, a lot of lessons, and a lot of good times had in that box.
Wow. You ain't kidding. A lot of memories. Some good, some bad. Some make you laugh, some make you cry.
What was, and I'll let you, because we both got to want to wrap it up here. But was there like one moment where if it didn't happen, a call, an opportunity to drive, like one thing that you can kind of go back and pinpoint, like had this not happened, had you not won this race, had you not got that sponsor, then it doesn't pan out how it did?
Probably 2 or 3. Dennis Schumacher.
64 Duraloop car.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Michael Schumacher.
No, yeah, correct.
No, it's cousins.
Macher and Maker. Dennis, I would call him, and he would never give me a chance to drive his car. And before I got to deal with Moroso and stuff, no, you got to be a Cup guy. You got to be a Cup guy. Okay. So I get that wonderful Cup career I did with Bill Davis. And he calls me. He goes, hey, you want to drive my car? I was like, are you kidding me? I'm a Cup guy now. So I get.
Is that 90, 94?
Yeah, 95 maybe. 95, yeah. And who was a crew chief, or the team manager, was old Brian Schaefer. He's with Junior Motorsports now. He runs their cars program. But me, him, and it was 4 or 5 of us. And we run good. Golly, we run good as heck. But we looked like Keystone Cops on pit road. So it never really help us a whole lot.
Been there a time or two.
So never won a race with Dennis. And then Moroso called. And Dick and Dad, Pepe, were always a damn good buddies up in the Northeast. Grew up together, did a lot of work together for the Moroso catalog. My dad did. And when Dick called, he says, hey, I need a driver for a couple races. You want to do it? Put me in, coach. And then Birdie called. And Bill Baumgartner, who was driving? They fired Jack Sprague, and Johnny Benson was coming in. And they needed a driver for Rougemont. So Birdie says, come drive Rougemont. Okay.
Orange County. Made up 3 laps and run second or third. I mean, it was great. It was fun. And the owner said, hey, if you ever get fired, you ever need a job, you call me. Who's this?
Bill Baumgartner. Yeah. He said, you ever need a job? That was the most fun I've ever had at a racetrack. I said, okay.
Was it a second car?
No, they fired Sprague, and Benson couldn't come from ASA.
Okay.
So they needed to fill in for 1 race. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And he said, that was the most fun I ever had. He said, you ever need a job, call me. So after Bill Davis fired me, he was my second call. Lawyer was my first call. And I said, I need a job. He goes, well, he says, Benson's leaving at the end of the year. You got one. I said, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I finished that's when I finished that year out in the 64 Schumacher car. So Schumacher car, and I made the call. I said, Bill, I need a job. And he gave me one.
There you go.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
Well, yeah.
We're going to Bristol here next week. And I think my favorite Bristol one-liner ever is when we went there with the modified.
Why you got to bring that up?
Because it needs to be documented for everybody to know. And the world needs to hear this. I think there's been a couple. I think in my friendship kind of being adopted by the LaJoies.
Your level of friendship's going down from this podcast.
Beaver Dragon running over the scales at Concord Speedway.
Oh my God,
that was a good one.
Just wiped him right out.
But Corey
following Mike Stefanik.
Probably race doing good.
Probably running like 7th, 8th. Those things.
34 car?
No, it was
the 71.
71.
That blue car.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Ryerson owned that car.
Modified race. Was it in the one?
Yeah, in the one.
Hooked right.
Just hooked right. Yeah. Like center of the corner, hooked right, hit center line straight.
Yep. Well, those modifieds, unlike any other car in traffic, they get arrow loose because you lose all the arrow and the blade. So I landed into the bank with like some counter steer in it, and when it caught some bank, I was a passenger.
Yeah, you're just hooked on the left rear. And
stuffed it head out of the thing.
It looked like something broke. And I couldn't tell from where I was standing, but I remember being at the trailer, and they're dragging. It's like a scene from Days of Thunder. It's like me, you, and Steve-O in the trailer, and then the car's getting pulled up. Doug's out there smoking a cigarette, and like just pissed off.
Shout out Doug.
The car's getting pulled up, leaking fluid. It's flat on the front,
literally flat to the crankshaft.
Here comes your dad, red like Yukon Cornelius says, "What happened?" And you go, "Something broke." He goes, "Yeah. Traction." And I think that's one of the best short track quotes ever. Something broke. Yeah, traction.
You hate it when traction breaks.
Yeah, that was head you in the wrong direction.
But the amount of times you've hit us with one-liners like that, I can only imagine Corey how many times he's been hit with one-liners like that. But it's definitely some Connecticut junkyard tough love. It gets us where we're going.
Well, it's got us this far.
Yeah, might as well keep it going. All right. That's all I got. I'll let you go.
Congrats.
Take your box. Congrats, Pop.
That's awesome.
Love you.
Cool. Love you too, kid.